Hello everyone, welcome back to another Rise of Kingdoms live stream. This is going to be I think our third live stream for the 1365 KVK. They're doing a 3v1 against 1875, I think it is, 2334, something like that, and 2244, and another kingdom here. I can't remember the number, 2338, I believe are the numbers, 2244, 2338, and 1875. I believe is 1875 at least. I know I just viewed this like the other day, but sometimes I can't remember exactly the kingdoms because there's so many that I see every day. But we're going to be streaming most likely this pass right here first because this is where JST has stacked up their marches. And before we get the stream started, like a lot, I'm going to say that there's a dog that's next door that's been barking lately, so if you hear that, I kind of apologize for that, but there's not much I can do about it. So definitely going to be a lot of action for this KVK. So we have somewhere around 3.5 minutes before the pass is going to open for pass 8. So we're going to go ahead and try and check some of the alliance powers. Can't really get the kills or anything like that, I don't think, I don't have an account in this KVK, so we'll check some of the alliance powers while we wait for the rally to hit this pass, and then we're going to go ahead and see what happens. So simply for JST, their power is going to be pretty high for it. They are an Imperium kingdom. I think all these kingdoms in this KVK are Imperium. So we're going to try and check JST real fast first, see what their alliance power is right now. They are 14 billion power right now, 15 basically. They have 3 stars, and they have the Alliance star for, I think, the Ark of Osiris League. I don't remember exactly which season it was, but they have won that. So this is their Alliance tag right now. They are joined by JG. Here, they've got 3 stars as well because they're in the same kingdom. They are almost 13 billion power. We also have OG and I think a couple other alliances on the other pass that we'll go look at. 10.5 billion for DK, DF, and then we also have, I think, let's see if we see any of the other alliances here. Not really seeing any of the alliances right here. I believe they're at this other pass for BLN, and OG are over here at this pass. So we have 14.5 billion power for BLN, and then for OG, it's going to be up here at the top, I think, here. We've got 14.3 billion power on this alliance here, so there's going to be a lot of power to burn for this Kingsland pass. And JST, I imagine, is going to go bottom here first, go right for 1875, and then they're also going to go straight right for 2244. Try to lock this first top right past 8, and then slowly flag around and cut off 2244, because 2244 I think is going to be the easiest for 1365 to lock in. So I think their main goal is going to be to fly as fast as possible to the Zig, go down straight from the far left pass, and then they're also going to go straight for 2244, lock them out, and then focus on the other 2 Imperiums in this KVK, because unless 2244 is going to step up from what they've been doing, they're going to get locked out real quick, because the amount of fighting I've seen from them is less than half what the other kingdoms have been pulling. And it could be that they were saving for this moment. We'll go ahead and check the passes and see if that's the case. I am seeing a decent amount of marches here, so hopefully they are willing to push really hard at this pass, because they're going to be, in my opinion, pushed first, because they are, I think, are the main targets that 1365 wants to just lock out first, because this amount of marches here is not as many as I would see. I would imagine that these other past 8s, which it could be because they're not as close, and it's definitely because they're not as close, but 1875 is also on the other side, so I think they're just going to slowly flag on that side. But 2338, I would imagine, is at one of these 2 passes with the other kingdom. I hope they're not like sitting down here too much. There's a lot of marches down here. They need a flag, but I think that they really need to make a push with the other kingdoms to try and push 1365 back to the pass, because I know 875 is strong, but I think that they could definitely at least have some troops over here to swap the pass. Well, I guess they can't swap the pass since there's no fort, so if they were in the same, they can't be in the same coalition either. So I think they could have done it a little bit differently, and maybe forced them to be like doubled up on this side up here, because they did that over here. I think they could have deleted one of the forts and definitely doubled up a little bit and pushed that way instead of having so much down here concentrate at the bottom. I think concentrating it at the bottom is kind of a mistake, because they just have to go so far. It's kind of wasting the troops on the pass. So we're gonna see this pass. It should be getting swarmed right about now. I would imagine it's halfway done roughly, and we'll see what we have here. So they're definitely swarming this pass. So yeah, it's about halfway down. I imagine that's what they would be doing. They're buffing the rally with Trajan, Constantine, probably Joan, maybe Mulan, some things like that to get some extra rage, extra damage. And they're swarming the pass, I think, with XYs, Guan, and a Nevsky. These top three. That XY probably could have stayed. But they are definitely trying to buff themselves to get this pass. I would definitely imagine 1365 here is going to get this pass first, because I think that they should have the best gear in this KVK. And this side has started swarming as well. Nevsky Jones are on this pass, which I think is a good choice as well, because you're getting a double skill occasionally, which gives you extra damage. But it could be, it's probably lagged. There's probably another XY or Nev right there. So they're definitely doing a good job. But I think 1365 will definitely have it slightly faster. But we'll see if we see who gets it first, because they're doing a lot of buffing compared to the other marches and on the other passes. From what I'm seeing, a lot of different marches that are buffing. Constantine's, Jones, there they have the pass. I think that's going to be the first pass taken. So here they come. This is going to be a lot of marches coming through this pass, like a lot of marches. No small amount of marches on this pass. A little bit of lag because there are going to be a lot of marches on the screen right now. But it's going to be one big train all the way to the right. I'd imagine about 80% of this is going right, and then about another 10 to 20% will go left to build flags as fast as possible. And I would imagine they're all going to go right, like 90-95% of this is going right. As you can see here, that huge train is just going to go right for the pass for 2244 and try and lock them out. I think that's the best thing they can do. If they can lock out 2244 within, let's say, a couple days, they can keep a couple hours, that's going to change this KVK real fast, because I think that 1365 can wear down the other two kingdoms in this KVK. But I think 2244, having not burned a lot of power, could be a little bit of an issue, because they haven't really fought a lot, which it's understandable if you're fighting 1365 to not fight very much. Every time I've streamed, though, it's 875 and 2338, I think, is the kingdom. I keep saying I don't have it, but saying it wrong. But this is going to be like kind of the test to see, can 1365 lock out this kingdom here. And if they can lock out 2244, then they can definitely push on the other two, I would say, maybe not stronger kingdoms, but more willing to fight at all times kind of kingdoms. And I think 1365's tried to wear down the other two kingdoms, and 2244's kind of just held on to a lot of their power. We haven't really checked any of these alliances' powers real fast. We've got 13 billion power, 13, 13, and 11. So I would definitely say that this kingdom for this Imperium here is a little bit smaller than 1365. We can go ahead and see if the different alliance was part of this. But this is the same coalition, which they have to be to get through that pass. There may be a different coalition, different alliances at the other pass. But we were seeing like 14 billion power alliances in 1365. And we're only seeing, they still don't have this. They almost have this pass, but they don't have it yet. Is this the same coalition? This is, it could be the same coalition. I think it is, because somebody probably joined them at Chem 14. We're going to see a collision right about here real soon. 2244 player, 600, almost 600 million power on this player. It's a very large player to be on the field here. 86 million dead. You see here comes the train from JST to collide with 2244. And a lot of these marches that are coming here fast from 2244 are gonna get smashed. They need to back up and ball up. They need to ball up back here on the right, because this ball from JST is gonna clobber them. There's a lot more here from JST than there is from 2244 walking here. They need to stop and ball up, or they're gonna get pushed. A lot of the ones in front need to back up, because these guys are getting eaten alive real quick. Real quick, sent back home. That salad just melted. But there's a lot here from JST 1365. I think they're all the people that just engaged from 2244 are gonna get sent home so fast they're not even gonna be able to blink. They're just gonna be pops. They're gonna pop that. They're way too late on balling up. There's so much more JST here. I think JST is just gonna push this ball real fast, and they're just gonna smash them real easy, because they should have been balling up much further back because of a lot of their marches. And I don't even know why there's like 20 players over here fighting like one person from JST. That's a huge mistake. I assume this player's like 200 mil. Yeah, like that's a waste of time. This ball from 2244 is gonna get pushed super hard by this side from JST. So definitely gonna have to see who comes out on top on this, but just by placement on the map, JST's got the advantage. They just need to push like right now, because all the marches from 2244 are way behind, way behind. And some of them are even just messing around, in my opinion, on the right with somebody city. They really shouldn't be doing that. I'm definitely seeing some lag here because a lot of the marches from JG are in the back, and I imagine they're already moving. Just a lot of lag. So see who comes out on top in this fight. We'll check some of the other march or other passes here pretty soon, because I imagine right about this time too, 875 and JST and BLN are colliding on that other side. So definitely gonna have to see who comes out on top. And just again, so that anybody that's joining the stream, there was a dog barking next door, so if you hear that, I apologize for that. But definitely a lot of marches on the field here from JST, the push 2244. I think that, like I was saying, this should be their #1 target. And I definitely think they know that. But I definitely think BLN and OG on the other side can definitely hold their own. And probably, I would say, kind of like stalemate the other side, while JST deals with 2244 and just clobbers them. I really wish, or not wish, but like I think that 2338 should have positioned themselves a little bit differently somehow, because they're not. I didn't see that they were at the other passes, and if they're not at the other passes, why are you at the bottom pass? Like, it's gonna take you a long time to reinforce any of these marches on this side. Yes, build flags, but you should have a forward on that side to at least field support your allies on the other side, even if you don't build, just to take the pass for like a couple minutes, and then you, after like the flag skill goes down or something, like even just to get through after they drop some flags, like just to get the marches through to help, because they're gonna need it. JST is definitely pushing real hard here. This is definitely the most marches we've had this whole KVG on the screen. I do know that when we were streaming the other day, we had a lot of marches, but this is like definitely a good fight for 1365. They definitely bumped up the amount of marches they have, even from what they were doing already, because they had a lot last time too, last couple times. But I'm seeing a lot of sad faces from 2244. A lot of sad faces. A lot of retreating, a lot of backing up, and you're just seeing JST just go all in here. A lot of sad faces from 2244 going home. Seen a few JST and JG, but there's a lot of lag too, but somebody's porting in up on the top right. Let's see if that's 1365 player or if that's 2244. I'd say it's a little bit of a mistake if that's the 2244 player, because JST's not afraid to swarm you down and imprison you. JST is definitely taking the upper hand here and pushing 2244 extremely hard. Flags from 2244 look like they're coming from over the pass or over the mountain here, and they have a player from JST right here. Multiple players from JST probably trying to cut off any flag reinforcements, but it's going to be difficult to cut any off at this point. But they definitely mountain hopped over the pass here from the pass, which is good because you're lucky that they didn't. Well, the good thing is they got rid of like some of the. Man, there's so many 2244 just running. They're all running away. They got smashed so hard. It's a good thing that they don't have any fort drops here because blocking in this KOK would be pretty savage with a fort or something like that. So a lot of these flags from 2244 are definitely going to be finished, but just by seeing this right here, they're going to be at the pass real quick from 2244. Real quick push from JST here is just going to push them right back to the pass. All these marches retreating are just basically sacrificing anybody left over from their side. There's so many going home, so many sad faces. Wasn't much of a challenge for JST in my opinion on this fight here. I did think that they were going to push 2244 real hard, and they have pushed them extremely hard. Anybody that's coming out of the pass here needs to ball up because the amount of marches JST has is just gonna swallow you whole. Anybody coming out of the pass, they need to back up and ball up at the pass and push out, get people TP'd in, but your biggest players only. So many JG players coming from the far left that are going to be pushing here. So many marches. I imagine 875 is definitely having a much better time at the bottom. We'll check that here real soon. I believe they're going to push 2244 to the pass in the next couple of minutes. We're going to see flags collide in this area right here. I imagine BLN's having a much more difficult time on this side with 875. Another huge brawl on this side of the map. BLN is definitely being pushed here though by 875. It's definitely a much more even fight on this side. Much more even than JST is pushing 2244. They're basically pushing that whole Imperium and they're not even trying. They still have like almost double the marches that 2244 has. So unless 2244 is going to have to build as many flags as possible, and they better be willing to lose a lot of power, drop Imperium, and more than that, or they're going to be pushed out of Kingsland real quick. They just don't have the marches on the top right to push JST at all. BLN here and OG are definitely having a tough time though, because they're being pushed by 875 just like the other side is. It's a much more even fight, but BLN and OG are being pushed here by 875. I don't know where the 2338 marches are at. We'll have to look for that. I'm not seeing any here, and I hope they're not right here. I would imagine they need to be going much closer to like some of the territory from 2244. They need to basically come up from this pass and just go straight up here and help field support. Somewhere at the bottom here, we'd have to see if 2338 would push up here, because I'm not sure if we can see where they would be. I hope they're not all back here just walking around, because they really need to be at the pass somewhere. So we're seeing a lot of march this way. We'll see if we can catch where the murder ball from 2338 is going. A lot of them at 75. Still seeing some 75 marches. Have to see if we see where the 2338 murder ball goes. I would imagine to see that they would be on this side of the map somewhere eventually, or they're should be pushing with with 2244 on this side. So I don't know where the murder ball is, but I imagine it's on the way to this side of the pass. If it's going towards the left side, I think that's a little bit of a mistake, because we've got them at the pass here from 2244. I would say that's probably the fastest I've seen an Imperium push to the pass. They got pushed so hard, so fast, it was not even... It was so fast. They're going to have a very hard time getting out of this pass if they don't do a very big push. Because the flags from JST and maybe JG... I would imagine JST is going to be on the right, though, because they want to be up front with these guys. And I imagine that JST is going to try and basically just swarm every flag and burn them out of Kingsland real quick. The only reason that 2244 is going to be in Kingsland, I think, is because they have this other pass that's over here and they can flag down. They can flag down and get some, reconnect somewhere, and make. They should be flagging left. I hope they are. They really need to be flagging left too. They need to get as much territory as they can. I'm not seeing not nearly enough flags on this side. Do they not have the flag builds? They have the flag builds, so they need to be building. They need to be building straight, like diagonal, and they need to be basically flagging to the left too to get as much territory as possible. I think that they're a little bit lean on this side here. They may not want to cut off their allies, but some of these flags are just now being built. I think they're a little bit slow on that because they could have already, I feel like, dropped a flag from this side, unless they took forever to get that flag built. I'm not sure what the issue was there, but definitely 875 is pushing BLN here. Still have the murder ball here right at the center. 875 needs to push hard to be able to push, because they need to be pushing BLN just as hard as JST is pushing 2244. Because if all those JST marches come down here, it's going to be a big issue. I know we have 2338, but 875 needs to push as hard as they possibly can and burn some flags, because BLN's going to be trying to stalemate you. Trying to see where the flag is on this side. It must be right on the edge or something. It's probably just not showing up. There's definitely a flag being built on this side of the map, and they're not touching just yet on this side. JST, well, BLN probably, I think, is the one building these flags. Let's see if we can't catch what flag it is. BLN is building over here. This player can be swarmed. This is a huge mistake from this player to be here, I feel like. Well, it's a 1365 player. Not a huge mistake, but you're not big enough to be there, in my opinion. You're too small. Because there's still a chance that 875 is close enough to rally you and prison you, or even just swarm you. Because they have the field here, in my opinion. 875 should be pushing much harder here. I think the flag was done for BLN on this side. Should see some connection to the flags here pretty soon on this side of the map. This guy here, though, needs to be in an alliance. He's not in an alliance either. I know he may want to random port away, but you're losing a lot of buffs when you're out of alliance here. Still have 875 and OG and BLN pushing here. A lot of a stalemate on this side, though. We're going to see if there's any flag touching from JST, because I imagine there is going to be very soon some flag touching. I think that 2244 needs to be careful and make sure they're building as many flags as possible, because they're just, JG and JST are just covering this area. It's going to be so hard for them to get flags built on this side. JG and JST are just everywhere, all over their territory. I hope that they're trying to push out of this pass, like actually push out where they ball up and push at the same time. But I'm seeing a lot of the one person come out kind of stuff, not enough for coming out all at the same time. I don't think they're ever going to get out of this pass unless JST just backs off and goes and burns flags, which they might do, but I'm not seeing where the 2338 marches are at. They may be over here somewhere trying to cause some havoc. Not sure. I'm just not seeing them. So we're gonna keep looking around to see if we see where they are at. If anybody joins the chat and you want to see where 2338 is, that'd be appreciated, because I'm not sure where they were at. They should be engaging, in my opinion, over here somewhere to try and push JST, relieve the pressure off 2244. If they go left, it's a mistake. Huge mistake. They need to have 2244 here in Kingsland to be able to just take some heat. Because if 2338 and 875 get pushed, it's going to be an even fight. I do think it's going to be a hard fight, but I think JST, with the amount of power they have, I think they'll be able to push them out. It's going to take a day or two, but at least I would say definitely 875 will be here for a while. Same with 2338, but I imagine to see some 2244 flags being burned real quick here. So we're going to see if there's anything happening over here. I'm not sure where 2338 is. Here's all the marches from here's a lot of the flag building marches. So we're going to see if 2338's on the right side of 875 or something. Trying to see if we see where's 2338 is the question, because they need to be engaging somewhere to help 875. Here they are. So finally, in my opinion, 2338 is making a push. It's taking them a little bit of time to get over here. I guess a little bit slow for them to be getting over here to this pass. I know they had to walk all the way across the map, but I think they could have maybe, like I was saying, they should have been over here with a fort. I feel like, and maybe even, I know it would interrupt the flag build a little bit. I'm not sure. But it's a very long march for them to be going right to the pass now, because there's so many flags being built from JST and BLN here. I think we crashed a little bit here, so I'm gonna have to refresh the game. I think we crashed. Let's go ahead and refresh the game real fast. A lot of marches on the field, a lot going on, so let's go ahead and go back to that KVK. Here's 875 pushing here. 2338 is at the pass for JST, I think, or BLN. I didn't check which pass it was. They are actually making a move to try and cut reinforcements, but I really think they should be down here fighting with 875 at like the backside. They should like basically try to swarm down all these marches from BLN and OG, because pushing to the pass at this point doesn't really do anything for you, because they already have flags built. It's too far of a walk to go all the way to the pass now, because they have a lot of flags built for the biggest players already. A little bit surprised to not see any flags left here. I guess OG, I guess they don't really care because they mountain hopped. I would imagine they should have done some flagging here though, to just have some territory here. I'm surprised they didn't flag at least a little bit, even from just a farm alliance up in this area somewhere. Maybe a farm alliance to take the pass and just have flags. I'm real surprised they don't have any territory there, and it's a bit aggressive to just not have any territory there, I feel like. But 2244 and JST should be colliding right about here. I imagine JST is going to be touching them as fast as possible, because 2244 is having a very hard time of even doing anything, and this flag's going to be swarmed down. If they get another flag drop, they're going to swarm that flag. I imagine in the next hour, man, it's going to take a couple hours to get them pushed out of Kingsland, but definitely 2244 is getting pushed out of Kingsland real quick if they can't change this. There's not enough of them on the field. There's not enough cities being ported in, I don't think. And 2338 should be over here. They should not be over here at this pass. It's such a waste of marches to have whichever pass it was. It may have been, they were over here. I swear they were over here. They're over here at this pass. Having all this marches sit here, such a waste. Such a waste. Used to be helping 2244. This waiting here is doing nothing. Absolutely nothing for you. Nothing. They have flags out. They don't need you to go through the pass. They don't need to go through the pass necessarily. They can port in. So many of these players can port in. There's nothing they're really stopping here, because all JST and them have to do is back flag. Drop some extra flags, get some port space. They can't really do anything here. They should be helping 2244. It's such a waste of marches here. They have so much here. At the very least, in my opinion, you should be helping 875 down here with field. 875 needs to burn these flags as fast as possible, because if JST locks out 2244, you're going to have a much larger problem. Much larger problem. This 875 flag is either being rallied or swarmed. It was just being swarmed, I think. But it finished. That flag finished. It'll probably be burned by somebody, because somebody will tap it, maybe. Nope, it seems like there's not enough BLN over here to do that. BLN is being pushed in OG, like I was saying, but if 2338 just came back on this side and just pushed from the back, smashed all the marches, any of the marches on the open field trying to regroup, they could definitely push and burn some flags over here. Because 875 doesn't really need the help. It doesn't really need the help right now. But if you're wanting to either push one side or the other, you can't just stand around at that pass. It's a waste of space. Waste of marches. So I imagine 875, well, I imagine that 2244 is going to have their flags being burned real quick here real soon by JST. They're just going to swarm all those flags at top right. And 2338 is another half hour to an hour away, at least, with flags. They're really not helping too much right now. They're really not. 75 is pushing BLN and OG like I was expecting them to, because there's not as much here. It's mostly on the right side to get 2244 out of the Kingsland fight as fast as possible. And JST is doing that. So I very much hope that they are pushing these flags on this side. 875 swarming flags. They're pushing as fast as possible because you have a very limited amount of time to get these flags down. Very, very small amount of time. A couple hours at most. Couple hours at most to get these flags down. We'll go ahead and check on the up top right pass here in another few seconds here. But I hope they're swarming these flags over here because they own the field. They should be rallying with the XY Nev, honestly. You should be rallying or with Attila Nev, and just, it depends on what kind of marches you have here. I really think you have the field. You should be swarming with an XY Nev, just swarming a flag, burning it. I can't see where the flag is here, obviously, with the amount of marches here, but they need, there is a flag from BLN burning. Could be one they just built though, so it's hard to say what's happening over here. Let's go ahead and simplify real quick and see if we can't see what's happening with the flags on this side. If is it burning? Is it not burning? Here's the flag right here. It's being rallied, I assume, or being swarmed. It's not being, and it's still not being. They need to be rallying this flag. I hope they're rallying this flag. They need to burn this flag as fast as possible. Swarming it right now, if you don't have a rally on it, it's a mistake. All these players over here, you need a rally to tank for you. You may have the field, but there's too many BLN over here to just stuff this flag with a swarm. You'd have to super commit to get that flag burned. There are people swarming this flag, I feel like, without support of a rally, and that's such a waste of troops. Such a waste of troops. That flag is topped off. They need a rally on that flag to burn it. Because this player here is going to be filling this flag with every march that they have. It's going to be hard to burn it. I imagine the BLN flag over here was just empty because it was new. So let's go ahead and check what's happening with 2244, but I imagine their flags are burning. Hopefully JST has a flag dropped already. Right about here to connect the territory. Waiting for the territory to load. A lot of marches going on here. See if we can't get the territory to load up a little bit. But they're all over this territory. Yep, there's a JST flag that's been dropped in this area. That's probably just not loading. It's got a few minutes left on it probably. And they should be swarming this flag that's on this top right, top part here in the middle. 2244 has pushed a little bit here, pushing JST a little bit off their territory because they've been able to port in some cities, so that does help them out. We'll have to see if they're still stuck at the pass back here though. I imagine they're not. They're not right now, but I definitely think that JST should have this in the bag. So this is probably a 2244 flag. It's just a JST flag, so we got about the same amount of time on both flags. 4 minutes here, 4 minutes here, so they'll be done at the same time about, give or take. So we'll see if we get any kind of a swarm here. I would hope that these players are using Xeno in all their flags at this point because you have to have the time. You need to stall as much as possible. 2244 needs to stall as much as possible. As much as they possibly can with everything they have. If they don't stall, they're going to be kicked out. Real quick. Real quick. This fight here is very even, I feel. Because a lot of the JST marches are still a little bit far to the left. And 2244 has a much easier time of just swapping marches if they get smashed right now. I really hope that I really thought that JST would take a little bit more of an advantage of what they had 5-10 minutes ago. But they lost the flag building skill, and I think that they didn't manage to get the flag burned at the top there because they're still waiting on this flag to be built. But they are definitely pushing 2244 again, I feel like. But I don't know if it'll be enough, like I was saying, because they don't have as much. They have much more longer distance to get over here. Seeing a lot of AoE and YSG marches on here, even Joan and YSG. We're seeing Leo with like Scipio, which I thought was a little bit weird, but it's definitely at least some AoE and all these huge brawls, and very tanky at least, that would help you out a little bit. Not the most optimal march from some of these players though. A lot of Scipio primaries, and probably like Hondo would be best secondary or something like that. We'll have to see if JST can push. And they need to push this side, like I was saying earlier in the stream, because they're going to try to back flag and stall, which is what they need to do. They have to stall. I'm hoping this flag from JST is almost done. Should be almost done. Should be like a minute left maybe. Yep, minute 30 seconds on this flag. And it's not full. Which it may not matter too much, but it's lagging out. But hopefully JST can burn these flags. They need to be burning them as fast as possible. So we'll go ahead and check the other side, but I want to see where 2338 is again. Because if they're still at this pass, I guess this pass might be the left pass. Such a waste, man. Such a waste. Such a waste. All this here is such a waste. Wasting marches. You should be pushing field with 2244. JST and them don't need this pass. They don't need the pass. Why are you over here? $875 is all over BLN on this side. This flag is burning. There's not enough territory players ported in to keep this flag from being burned, unfortunately. I think somebody ported out over here. Nope, port shop's still here. Yep, they're still there. So it's just lagging out. But they most likely lost the captain because of a swarm, because there's not enough field on this side still. 1365 needs to stall on this side as much as possible. Because right now they have a little bit of an advantage where 2338 is kind of standing around. Kind of standing around with their, I don't know, they're just kind of standing around. I think that BLN is going to have to regroup much further back, because this murder ball from 875 is going to eat anything that's in that path right now. There's a lot of little fights that they need to back up and ball up somewhere on this side of the map, because they just don't have the field on this side right now. They really should have had more flags, back flags for BLN to port cities in. There still need to be back flagging, in my opinion. Still not seeing any flags in this area right here. They need flags just to port people in. They need the flags. They should have enough resources, I would think, from not building for like a week to be able to just back flag. They need to just have territory space. They might be doing that, it's just maybe a little bit slow. Let's see here, since this flag from JST was touching, we'll see if they definitely have a rally on this flag. And we should see this flag being burned very, very quickly. We have Kong over here. 300 mil power player will swarm this flag as soon as the rally probably hits to burn it and hopefully push 2244 out. Still have a big fight with 2244 here, but what's happening here is 2244 is not stacking up enough to where they can actually push JST and JG right now. They're just kind of walking in one at a time from the back, while JST is kind of stacking in one spot and then just inching their way to the left, to the right, to just push them out. And they're starting to stack up in this back left side, so that's really helping them. Another flag for 2244s are already burning. Could have been that there was a rally and swarm, but it's very possible there's a rally and swarm already on it, and I would imagine there's a rally coming for this flag. XY Neb and burn it as fast as possible. Fast as possible. Multiple players from JST here ready to swarm as soon as this happens. They just need to have the rally touch so they can swarm. Just needs to touch. If they feel like they need to do it, they can definitely swarm that flag down. I don't imagine there's going to be enough reinforcements from 2244 with this amount of field from JST. But I think that 2244, some of them are definitely trying to move up. But there's definitely a JST player somewhere in here that's dropped all these Gahars because there's no porting in for 2244 up in this top spot. Hopefully that rally is coming very soon from JST because they need to burn that flag. I really wish they would get rid of the Gahar or the Lohars here. I really don't think you should even be able to do the Lohar. What they need to do is just remove you being able to use the Lohars in KVK. Just don't let anybody spawn them in KVK and that'll solve your problem. This little bug like that you can do, I feel like it's just so cheesy. It's a lot like the, trying to think of what I was trying to think of, is like, she used to be able to spawn a lot more of them at once and like be able to just block stuff. Same thing with the Kahars. They had like 8 hours or something like on them. Like, some of that's really cheesy. But JST is taking care of these real quick, so not huge big deal, but I feel like they could just keep you from spawning them in KVK and you would get rid of that. JST is refreshing, it looks like to me, and this flag up top is going to be, excuse me, probably swarmed here real soon. Rally should be coming any moment now from JST, or they're going to swarm it. I'm not sure. Could be we're lagging and not seeing where the rally's at, but there should be definitely a rally coming from JST very, very soon. Whoever spawned all these Gahars, even that, if you just put a farm in here and do that, like, it's just kind of cheesy to do that. Same with the Lohars. I don't like that play because it kind of just cheeses the way you're gonna win. Nothing against, it's part of the game, so nothing against anybody that does it, but it's part of the game, so you can do it. Same thing with like the one troop debuff. That's what I was kind of thinking of. Because it's kind of cheesy to do that, but it's part of the game, so you can do it. So it is what it is. But it's something I think they should address. Is I think Kahars and like Lohars can't be spawned in like Kingsland. Like the territory in there, they should be like, once you pass this past 8, you can't spawn them in there or something. Something to try to stop people from doing that kind of stuff, so it kind of makes it more even. Because you can kill barbs easily, and I don't even think there should be barbs in Kingsland, really, because it just... Same thing with resource nodes, like, some of the stuff they put in Kingsland, allowed to be in Kingsland, just isn't right. But we have JST probably going to be swarming this flag at the top. So Henry and Nebu is hitting the... I would have done an XY Nev because it's a much faster burn on the flag. They really need to swarm this flag, just get it down, because this rally is getting punished a little bit, and there's reinforcements for this flag, so they need to be swarming this flag. I'm not sure why they're not. Could be that they're waiting a little bit longer, but they don't have the time to wait. Kong is starting to swarm, hopefully with the Tommy debuff to get this down as fast as possible. XY Nev would have been a little bit better, I feel like, for this flag, because it's just going to have more of a fast burn on this flag. But they're going to get the job done either way. So we're trying to see... We'll see if they can burn this flag real quick here. So definitely seems like they're going to be burning this flag here in a few seconds here and burn it real quick. Still have some reinforcements from 2244 player here, Leo, trying to fill this flag. But it's just not enough. They lost the captain and I bet it burned. So JST is just now burning 2244 flags. 875 is burning BLN. So let's just go ahead and do an overview of the map right now and kind of see how things are going. So as you see, OG, BLN are engaging with 875 right now. JST and I think a little bit of JG players, at least for like field, are engaging with 2244. We have 2338 sitting at the pass of OG. I do believe it's that pass to try and help a little bit, but they should be pushing field in my opinion, because there's a lot of marches there. We'll have to look and see if they moved. 2338 is flagging directly towards the Zig. I feel like 875 has cut 2338 off a little bit from the Zig. They really shouldn't have flagged out so far. They should have a little bit more back and just filled in what the spot that they don't have here. I know there's some mountains, but they should just fill that space in rather than cutting this flag line from 2338, because they need to have the double rally option, and also just the amount of cities to get ported in on that side would help. So you're seeing a BLN flag is being burned here. There's a garrison and the flag is being heavily swarmed already. Since there is a garrison in here though, there should be some decent amount of troops in here. So whoever is swarming this flag is going to get punished, because it's probably Xeno YSS or at least Xeno flag. Hopefully seeing Xeno and Flav, because tankier than Xeno YSS is. But 875 is definitely controlling the field on this side of the map for right now. So we're going to have to see if BLN can push back here on this side of the map. Let me go ahead and swap a little bit of the music here and see if we can get something else going on. A little bit better here. .875 is controlling this field. I think they stopped swarming whatever flag they were swarming there, maybe, because they didn't have a rally on it, and it's already burning, so they really don't need to. Hoping to see some of these flags be filled in here from BLN, just for port space. 2338 is still sitting at this pass. It is an issue for BLN because they don't have any flags back flagged. This flag is got 40 minutes. They need to be sending through basically every cav march to fill that flag. They need to have done that a long time ago. I know you needed to engage, but they needed somebody to back flag. I feel like it's a wee bit of a mistake on JST's part to not have any back flags here at this pass from BLN and OG. Even just a few flags. They now are filling the space, but it's just a wee bit late. They really needed that port space now so they could be holding off 1875, who is engaged here. Not a huge setback, but I think it's going to be a little bit of an issue because they don't have the reinforcements from the pass. They don't have territory on this side to have enough cities ported in. There's a lot of stuff blocking territory right now, and they're just having to push almost like 2244 is on the other side, where it's just one at a time kind of stuff, where it's not the huge murderball you were seeing earlier from all these marches. Not a lot of territory space on this side for people to port in. A lot of resource nodes that just block everything. That flag probably should have been placed farther to the left or something to get more territory going on. 2338 is still at this pass. Either BLN or they need to be doing something to relieve the pressure on themselves on this side. Because the plan, I think, from 875 and 2338 standpoint is to push this left side rather than help 2244. Whether or not that was inspired by the fact that 2244 didn't really help them, could be that, and I would imagine that's the reason why 2338 is helping 875 and not helping 2244. It's because 2244 wasn't helping them the last 2 or 3 days at pass 7. 875 was at the pass more so than 2244 was, from what I could tell. So we'll have to see if we get any more So we're going to see BLN is trying, and OG here is trying to push there, but a lot of flags from JG. We have, I imagine, 875 on this side, trying to flag around the Zig, and they're going to try to, so a little bit of a, I would think that a little bit of a, I don't want to call it a mistake, a little bit of a different type of strategy, because I think you would want 2338 to be at that pass where 1875 is on the right here, and just basically have this purple flag on the right be 2338, so they could flag around the Zig. 1875 could be on this, and they can kind of like arrow or spear point going towards that side, rather than having 875 take both sides. So you're kind of cutting off 2338. Unless you've left a little bit of flag area here, and you have hopefully left enough space within the flag. But I really think that maybe 2338 should have had this pass instead of having this bottom only passes. It's just a thought that they maybe should have done to maybe try to spearhead that side a little bit better. All of the 2244 flags on this side, I imagine, are burning, other than this one. Rally is probably coming very soon. It is already hitting. Swarm on this flag is going to happen very soon. Very, very soon. Hopefully it's Xeno Flab. It is. That's good for them. If it was Xeno YSS, it would melt much faster. But this flag is going down very, very quickly. JST is burning this flag in the next 5 to 10 seconds here with the amount of swarm they have. Good Boudica Henry on this flag is decent, but I think an XY Nev just does it quicker. You just do more damage, but I think they're swarming with a lot of cav with Nevsky and stuff like that. So they're using an Archer rally to try to burn the flag down. There is a debuff from Boudica for skill damage, and I think from Henry too. So it's a good rally, but I think an XY Nev would just be a little bit quicker because it's going to cause the target to take more damage, I feel like, from being swarmed and stuff like that. So this flag should be burned pretty quickly here, unless the 2244 members can swap another garrison in and keep them from swarming, but the swarm on this flag is pretty real. Some of these marches from JST need to pull away for fresh marches to hit. The Saladin, the Scipio need to pull away for a fresh march to be hitting, but because there's still being marches stuffed in this flag, they need to pull away for a fresh march, because they're not doing enough damage to be swarming still. Hello, Blood of Hell. Welcome to the stream. There goes the flag from 2244. JST did burn the flag. So they are burning pretty much every flag on this side of the map from 2244. Every flag from them is burning. No flag from JST is most likely burning. They swarm down until Nev. It goes home. Wee. I imagine they're pushing here with 2244. Trying to basically just keep them off the field as much as possible so they don't push them. All the flags on this side of the map are burning. Just for a recap for anybody new joining the stream. Top right, 2244 flags are all burning that are touching JST. From what I can tell, OG and BLN are over on this side, having a tough time with 875 and 2338. 2338 is at this pass with OG. They are blocking this pass. BLN made a little bit of a mistake, I feel like, because they have the pass other than OG, and they should have flagged this small area right in front of this pass 8 up so they could port people in, because 2338 is at this pass blocking. Or at least they were. They must have been pushed away from this pass very recently, or they left, because there was a very large murder ball here very earlier. They must have just been pushed away by OG, or they went somewhere else. I'm not sure, because I'm pretty sure they were at that pass. Unless they come over here, they must have left the pass, because there was a very large amount of 2338 marches there, and they must be trying to push back down here. So here's where the 2338 players have went. They're flagging here and pushing field with 875. They left that pass. I feel like they should have not been at that pass for 30 minutes. A little bit of a waste of time there. They could have been pushing field. I understand they wanted to push with 875, but they could have been helping with field, I feel like, a little bit more. With 2244, definitely. Because 875 is holding this. There's a lot of BLN coming from the pass now, though. Now 2338's left and kind of went to fight the middle part. BLN is able to now push again. But that was the mistake that BLN made, is not filling the flags in at the top left corner of the pass. They couldn't port anybody in. And when that was that mistake, 2338 took advantage and blocked them. And they had a lot of issues just building flags. So a little bit of a setback for BLN and OG on this side. So BLN is definitely going to, I think, push this murder ball from 875 and try to push them away to get people ported in. And I think it's going to kind of, you know, go back to the way it was, where this is kind of a stalemate on this side of the map. JST is burning on the top right. 2338, 875 is going to be pushing through the middle, trying to burn those flags from JST, maybe JG or OG. But I think this side's going to go back to being a stalemate with the amount of people pulling over here and pushing 875. I think that 2338 needs to kind of commit to going to one plan or the other, rather than just moving all over the map and wasting time. They did a good thing of blocking at the pass, but unless they were pushed away, you committed to that, you should have stayed. So it's possible they were pushed away though. Somewhere along the line, OG may have and JG may have went over there and pushed, but I think they should have stayed if they had already committed to that. Because now here 875 is being pushed. I would imagine all the flags from BLN are going to get healed, and we're going to see some 875 flags being pushed pretty soon. A lot of them are pushing away, getting closer and closer and closer, rolling towards 875 side out of this map. Because BLN is just pushing with OG now that they've got more marches. I think they're going to push all the way back, all these marches back to where they were, and get this back to being stationary and more of a stalemate. $875 has not got enough margins here, I think, to be able to push. More and more streaming in from BLN to push this side of the map. If they can't stalemate on this side, they're going to have to be spearheading through the middle somehow with 2338. And I think 875 has kind of blocked them a little bit. So let's see how that goes. We'll check that in a little bit. But BLN and OG are pushing pretty hard here on this side. More and more 875 trying to reinforce this murder ball, but I think it's too late. There are some JST marches over here. If you can kind of spot them, there is some JST reinforcements on this side as well. Not as much as you would think, but it's possible they pulled a few people from the right side and sent them over here to push this side to kind of stabilize this side. And it's getting back to being stabilized for JST and 365 overall. We'll be seeing some BLN push the flags here pretty soon, I imagine. Definitely a lot of good fight here, because 365 has been trying to drain 875 and 2338, and 2244 is already being burned, and they haven't really fought that hard, so it's kind of an issue for them right now. Being pushed all the way to the pass at the start of this really hurt them a lot on the top right side of this map. BLN is pushing 875 to their territory, so now it's going to be an even fight. We're going to see here pretty soon if BLN has got them pushed away. Going to check, see where 2338 is, and if they're pushing pretty hard here up the middle. I would see that they are. They're covering all of this territory from, I think it's probably JG or OG. I'm not sure which alliance it is. OG is over here, just being completely covered in their territory. So map-wise, 875 is kind of trying to encircle the Zig. OG is touching the Zig area, so there's not so much of a big deal. 2338 is trying to, I would say, kind of set up for a double rally and also encircle the Zig. So we'll have to see how that goes, but I think that 2338 should have came out of this right side pass rather than 875, so that they're not really just on the inner side, because they need to have that power, not so much split up by 875, because splitting up so much power I feel like is a little bit difficult to do. Have 875 still pushing on the left side. We have JST and 2244 pushing here. All the flags from from 2244 are being burned on this side. JST is all over the field here, pushing all of them as much as they possibly can to get this all burned as quickly as possible. So we'll have to see if JST can keep this pressure up on this side, but I think that they definitely can. Let's see, is all these flags up here from 2244 being burned, or are they healing? Still burning for a little bit longer, but I think JST is going to have to push again up this top right, because this flag's probably getting pretty close to being not burned, and it's going to be a little bit difficult for JST to keep these flags burning if they don't push again on this side of the map. Seeing a lot of 2244 marches on this side of the map, so it's definitely going to help them push on this side of the map. .2244 is starting to ball up in this top right corner. JST is kind of a little bit outnumbered right now, I feel like, on this side a little bit by 2244, simply because they're so pushed in on them on this side of the pass. So we'll have to see if 2244 can make a push back, but right now they're having a little bit of an issue even pushing back on JST at all. And we're going to get the music going again because it stopped. So we're seeing more and more JST pour in from the left side, but they're being pushed by 2244 here. JST is pushing further down in the middle, which is also a good thing, but I think if they can push this top part, they can kind of cut the flags at the top, but there is back flags here, so it's going to be difficult either way to push. They kind of have to push all at the same time in the same kind of areas to keep all this up and going. Alrighty, here. Still more JST is pouring in up here at the top, so we're going to see that JST is probably going to start to take the field up here because they're pouring more and more people up here to push this field again. Get these flags, make sure they're still burning. I would imagine some of these flags are going to be healed here pretty soon. Like I was saying, 2244 has healed this flag. JST needs to commit to burning these flags once more and not give them much respite or give them much of a rest from this push from JST. They need 2244 out of this Kingsland as fast as possible. Many JST players are ready to swarm this flag as soon as the rally touches. Imagine an Archer, Edward, or not Edward, that'd be funny if you see an Edward. You're going to see a Henry and Nebu probably rally coming real soon on that flag. I imagine this flag up top still burning. It's possible it's not garrisoned, it's why it's still burning, or it was burned just slightly later than this bottom flag, and it will be healed very soon. Xeno flag, Boudica, Henry is going to be hitting. I will imagine to see a swarm very, very soon from Kong here to swarm this flag down. Comes the swarm, maybe? Xeno and Flav, probably Garrison, need to be swarming this flags now. Here comes the swarm, maybe? No swarm yet. I would imagine they need to swarm this flag, though. That rally is not going to be full. It's going to be too even of a trade if they don't swarm here. They need to swarm this flag. Many players from 2244 trying to reinforce this flag from the top right. Xeno YSS now. I thought it was Xeno Flag there for a little bit. So it should be a much easier burn. They need to just swarm this flag. They really do. It'd be much easier to just get it done. They need to quickly burn this flag. They're getting AoE'd anyways. They need to just burn the flag. Still no swarm yet. It may be coming here in a second though. No swarm yet. They need to swarm that flag in my opinion. They need to get it burned. Waiting a little bit too long to get that flag burning. They need them out of Kingsland now. Comes the swarm now. Swarming this flag now. Got some Nevskis and Guans and Scipios and Trajans all swarming this flag. Got a full swarm on this flag now. Gilgamesh, got all the good marches swarming this flag. Xeno YSS can't handle a swarm as well as Xeno Flav can. This is going to pop really quick. Real quick. Xeno Flav would hold up better to a swarm than this. So this is going to pop real quick because there's not enough stats here anymore from just Inf. Flags popped. All the marches go wee. Keep swarming here. They're swarming on Attila. Not the best thing to be swarming, but the flag is not full, so it is burning. They did manage to burn this flag just slightly later than what they should have, I feel like. There's some more field fighting up here. Flag from 2244 is healing. I imagine a rally is going to be set very soon if it hasn't already been set on that flag to burn it again. All the JST players from bottom are coming top, ready to swarm this flag as soon as it gets to half health. We'll have to see if there's anything in this flag at the top. Honestly, I assume it's Xeno. It needs to be a Xeno flag. It needs to be a Xeno flag. Hopefully they've got a Xeno flag at the top here. JST is just pouring their marches and making a train for anybody that's trying to reinforce this flag at the top. JST is holding off the 2244 push from the right side as far away as they can to keep these flags burning. We'll go ahead and check the other side while we wait for the rally on this side, because I imagine we got 3 to 4 minutes for a rally to come and they burn that flag. We'll see where 875 is on this side. Hoping to see that JST, BLN, basically BLN and OG have pushed. Still seeing a stalemate on this side. Is the BLN flags healing? They're not healing. That's an issue for JST, or BLN here on the side. Some JST players here too. One flag is healing. It's possible this flag was accidentally messed up and didn't get healed in time. Or 875 pushed and burned it again. They really need to make sure that flag is getting healed as soon as possible. They need to stalemate this as much and as long as possible. JST is doing a good job of burning all of the right side. They need to keep this healing on this side from JST. BLN side here needs to be healing. 2338 is in the middle, trying to burn all the flags from OG. OG needs to stalemate them as much as possible. JST is making a very good push and trying to make sure that they are burning all of their flags. We'll have to see if 875 is pushing here or if it's just 2338. So OG is actually pushing back here in the middle. But Call Herald on that flag is a waste of time. Real waste of time on that flag. Just burning Inf in that flag is not going to help you very much. It's just going to be reinforced by farms. I have to see if 2338 is sitting on this territory still. Really feel like they should be helping field somewhere else. I know they're burning these flags. They're kind of just hanging out. Really just kind of hanging out here in the middle. So let's go ahead and see if there's anything happen on this side. So OG and JG are pushing here, trying to push this side of the map so that they can get it more 50% them and 50% the other side. And then also, unfortunately, both these teams on this side are red territory, so it's a little difficult to know. Unfortunately, JST's flag was burned here at some point. So 2244 has made a push to burn the flag on this side. Go ahead and check to see if that rally was up here and burned this flag. I have JST marches swarming this flag down now. Should get it popped real quick here. There it goes. That flag is burning again. Alex, keep swarming would help. 3 kills. 3 kills. Double C. I'd love to see it. Love to see double C and go on primary. And they all go. People may still be reinforcing this flag, I'm not sure. Nope, seems like it's empty now when it was. So all these flags up here should be burning. JST needs to take all their marches here, push them down here, and burn these flags. They need to be burning this 22. Well, they can't burn that one yet. There's one here in the front. Does not look. There it is. This flag needs to be burning. They need to push back down this way. They need to take most of that marches and push back down this way and burn that flag, so they keep these flags going, because BLN is having an issue staying on the field on the other side. They really need to make sure they're pushing this side really well. .2244 is at least trying to stay on the field on this side. More and more JST marches coming from the left side to try and reinforce this big murder ball fight on this side of the map. Hopefully they have a rally set, probably an Attila Nev on that flag to at least try to get it engaged so they can start trying to push this field. They can also set an archer out there. It's a rally from JST coming. It's probably archers because they probably think it's pretty good. Could be it's a Henry and Nebu rally on this flag. Flavius and Scipio is not the best garrison to be using here. There's no heal. There's no extra troops coming back from a swarm. I imagine JST is going to swarm this flag heavily very soon and get a burn on this flag. Not the best garrison to be using in this situation. Needs to be a Xeno and Flav. Xeno Flav would be the best. It's going to get a good trade on this rally, but if these JST players can swarm this flag, you're going to have a hard time keeping it alive, because that garrison can die really, really easily. Hopefully JST starts to swarm this flag very soon. Here they are. XY's Nebus are swarming this flag. I imagine it's going to pop very, very quickly. Wrong garrison in this flag at this time. It's not going to heal. It's not going to stay alive. Don't make this mistake. You can't have this kind of garrison. It's not going to stay alive long enough to even bother putting it in. A few Saladins swarming this flag. Probably not the best to be swarming. Have some Tommy debuffs on this flag though, so should be getting popped real quickly here if they can keep this rally topped off. They are filling this flag, but the garrison's going to pop real quick with a swarm here. Hopefully they move away some of these marches that aren't good. They have XY needs to be moved away so a new one can come in. It is. Have some fresh marches starting to swarm this flag. It is on red. Rally needs to be full. I don't know if the rally's still here. I hope it is. If it's not, they can't stop swarming that flag. They need it to be down. They made a little bit of a mistake. Rally had to be canceled. They made a mistake. The flag needed to be burned. I feel like they made a little bit of a mistake using the wrong rally here. They needed to have Boudica and Henry, in my opinion, hitting this flag to debuff the flag and also have a little bit more damage on that flag. It should have been burned. Little bit of time waste on that flag there. It should have been burned. That captain would be dying if they had kept swarming. It'd be very difficult to keep a Flavius and Scipio in a flag like that because it doesn't have the heal. Either way, it will be burned in the next probably 5 minutes, but still 5 minutes that they wasted on probably not the best rally, I feel like, for a flag rally at this point, because there's not enough damage on a single target. They need as much on that single target as possible. Henry Nebu just doesn't do enough upfront damage, I don't think, to be used on that right there. But JST is pushing field here against 2244, trying to keep them off the field. Doing a good job of that. I think they'll push them away. Majority of the marches are coming probably from top when they burn that other flag, so they are going to keep them pushed back far enough because there's so much from this left side just coming in. Pushing them to the right. Still have all these on the 2244 on the top right are running away, sacrificing anybody left over. JST has field control again. Next rally on this flag will definitely burn this flag. There's not enough here to push JST away. We'll check the top, make sure it's still burning. I don't imagine to see too much up here other than another mistake from, I feel like, JST. Flavius and Scipio popped. Flag popped. I know that JST doesn't care that these flags pop, probably because they know they can keep burning 2244 more than they can be burned. But I feel like they should have had a Xeno in there to try to delay it a little bit, because Flavius and Scipio, the garrison's going to pop. It's just not going to be, unless you have enough reinforcements right next to it, it's going to pop pretty quick. But I don't think that they care too much about that flag, because they are still burning 2244 everywhere else other than this one flag where they, I feel like, messed up a little bit on the swarm. But they were keeping it topped off on that flag with infantry probably, which helped out this side of the map for 2244. We'll go ahead and check to see where 875 is. I'm hoping to see that BLN has kind of stalemated 875 and their flags are healing. We'll go ahead and check that here real quick and see where that side of the map is at. See where they're at here. Seeing 875 covering BLN's territory and still engaging. BLN's flag is healing, but it is kind of low. Hopefully this far left one is still good to go. It is. That's good to see for BLN side here. We'll go ahead and check OG2 here in a few seconds just to see where they're at. This is kind of went back to the stalemate that I was kind of talking about, where BLN is able to hold this line here so that they can kind of hope that JST can quick burn everything on the top right. Because they just need to get 2244 out of this King's line as fast as possible. Seeing a little bit of a problem maybe for BLN a little bit here with marches. They need to pour in more marches to keep this field for themselves here. But we're going to go ahead and see where 2338, if they're still sitting over here in this area. I think that's 875 and probably OG fighting there. Seeing 2338 all over this territory swarming, just marches swarming. I don't think they're swarming a flag. The flag's probably burning. From what I can see, the flag is already burning from OG. Bit of an issue for OG here that their flags are burning. But they're just trying to stalemate this side of the map anyways. So not too big of an ordeal for 1365. Seeing 2338's murder ball move up here. 3JG territory maybe finally going to help. Nope, I think they're only helping 875 here at this top. They're not going far enough to the right to help 2244 and slow that burn down at the top right. Definitely seeing that it's more of a 2v1 on the right left side and a 1v1 on the right. And 2244 is not able to hold their own really. 2338 is kind of just sitting on territory in a lot of different areas and allowing 875 to push, and then 24, whatever king it was top right, basically get burned. Not a lot of pushing from 2338. A lot of just slow burning and standing around, honestly. Which is fine because they need to basically just take territory and push with 875, which I think is their plan on this left side of the map, and up towards the middle towards the Zig, trying to cut OG away from the Zig where they're at. Have to check to see, have they encircled the Zig? They pretty much have cut off the Zig from OG here with this flag right here, and the bottom part of this map is turning towards the bottom side of the map where they have encircled the Zig, and JST is having to push this side of the map and hoping to see that they can get these flags at top here, keep them burning. Let's see where JST is. I imagine they're back here at this flag that was down here, swarming the flag if it's not been burned yet. See if we see that the flag's being burned or not. From 2244. Trying to load in the screen here, hopefully get a little bit more loaded in. I know we're seeing a big fight here from JST, and there's the rally. Rally is on this flag. Somewhere here. Okay. Their flag is in the middle here somewhere. Try to get a little bit simplified and see if it burned. See if we can't see where this flag was at. If it got burned, it did burn. They burned this flag finally. Good thing for them. they keep the burn going on 2244. And then we'll keep an eye on this right here. And I'll be right back. I'm going to go use the restroom real fast, but I'll keep the camera right here. Alrighty, we're back in here and we still see JST and 2244 engaging here. So all the flags from 2244 should still be burning. Still seeing a lot of burning flags from 2244. JST flags should be at least mostly healed, if not pretty much fully healed. Maybe a few times they've been burned, but they are controlling this side of the map against 2244 still. I think 2244 is trying to make a push here on this side of the map, try to keep themselves in the game here. A lot of them though are going up top, could be to try to burn a flag, could be refreshing, not sure, but they really should be pushing JST down here to kind of stalemate them if they can. I'm not seeing much of a stalemate right now. JST is definitely pushing very, very hard at this point of the game. I'm gonna go ahead and check the top flag, see where it's going on. I think JST is trying to refresh a little bit on the bottom there. 2244 flag is still burning. JST flag is burning, but it is much higher health than these two flags right here. Gonna have to see what's going on the other side of the map. This is the Kingsland so far. It's kind of, I would say 30-40%, 30% JST, and then the rest of it is going to be the other allies, because 2338 has kind of taken this bottom middle right side completely. No like aggression from the other side for that, and they've kind of encircled the Zig. We've got 1875 engaging far left with BLN and OG keeping that side stalemated, and then 2338 is pushing OG and JG in the middle with 875, with helping them provide the field for 875 so that they can try to push away JST and the allies on that side to burn flags and stuff like that. So we are seeing a rally on this flag from JST. I'm not sure if this is the rally or what rally is going on here. Actually, it's this Henry from, let's see here. No, it's not the right rally. We'll see if we can see the flag here a little bit. Simplify the graphics real fast just to see what rally is going on and what's happening here. The rally is on this flag. I would imagine there was a I did see a rally a second ago. I thought this flag could have been canceled, or we're not seeing the full rally. I think they canceled the rally on this flag because they are trying to push fields still. So we're going to keep an eye on this very large murder ball from BLN and 875. I think BLN though is, or has, more marches on this side of the field, but there are a lot streaming in from 75 from the very bottom of the screen here. So we'll have to see if they can push away BLN and OG. I think OG's had to go further to the right and more into the middle of the map and try to hold that middle part of the map. So we'll have to see if that's going to be the case here. But BLN is controlling the field a little bit here. I will definitely imagine to see another rally on this flag from 875, burning this flag maybe, depending on the amount of reinforcements 875 can do. Definitely going to see a rally at the very least, and a swarm maybe on that flag to see if we can't get it burned. More marches from 75 are coming up from the bottom here, trying to push up. They're fighting much around their cities right now, while BLN is trying to just push and try to get them these flags to burn in, because their flags have been burning as of late. They are healing right now, which is good, like we were saying earlier. BLN flags are healing, which is good for them. They have encircled this flag here. I would imagine to see another Henry and probably Nebu rally coming in the next 2 to 3 minutes to get this flag burned. King of 875 is right here, at least the current king right now, which is good to see that they have the king title probably on the garrison captain for this flag. Big field presence from BLN here though, so I think that 75 is going to try to push back and push them away from their flag, or they're going to get a burned flag here. More and more BLN coming in from top. Some siege for some reason, for probably farming a resource tile up top from BLN. 875 trying to push back here. There's a very large amount of marches from BLN stacked up near the flag of 875, pushing down now. So we'll have to see if they can push away, but I imagine to see a rally pretty soon from BLN. Some small fights on the right for BLN and 875, but most of it's here right in the middle. Should be seeing a rally from BLN here really soon. Still many marches from BLN here to try to push away 875. King scale from 75, I think, for this area, but I think it's kind of a... We'll see if this murder ball from 75 can push BLN. I think it is a very large murder ball, so they can probably push BLN here. Hopefully the BLN are able to push back though, because they need to burn this flag. They really do need to burn this flag and try to get some more pressure on this side of the field, because they're losing the middle part of this map. They need to push here and push the right side and just stalemate the middle, because they can't take 2338 right now. They just can't. They just don't have enough, I don't think, in the tank to be able to hold that middle part either. Plenty of marches engaged here from 75 and 1365 here in the middle from BLN. I'm seeing just BLN players right now all stacked up in the middle here. We'll see if we see a rally on this flag, but I imagine they need to clear field first before they launch a rally, because they can't really swarm this flag right now. I don't imagine. We'll go simplified real quick and see if we see any rally on this flag, but I imagine it is not. No rally so far on this flag. Go back unsimplified and keep watching this fight here. Many marches from BLN and OG, or BLN and 875 right here. Have to see if there is going to be a good push from BLN here. They're definitely stalemating this side for a while. I would imagine that some of the 2244 flags are probably going to be healing here pretty soon. See if they're still kind of stacked up here. Looks like 2338 is still burning some of the OG flags. They are stacked up over here for some reason that I don't quite understand, because 875 is all over the territory anyways. Probably burning some of these flags down here, but they still haven't burned this flag yet. It's still healed, so that's a good thing for OG, that they have basically the more contested flag right now in the middle, still not burning for that side. I imagine though these flags here are burning from OG because they just can't. They have too many flags touching, but OG is pushing here, trying to burn the middle flags and get some of the territory back for themselves. Have to see if there's going to be a rally on this flag in the middle here. Let's just double check there isn't a flag being rallied here in the middle. It is not being contested right now. Go back unsimplified and keep continuing to see whether or not we see a rally real soon from OG and JG here. Then we're going to go ahead and check and see if JST has been needing to burn any more flags at the top right here. I'm still seeing a very stalemate here from JST side here. 2244 is pushing back now. Their flags will probably be healing real soon. This flag here should be healing pretty soon here. They may be swarming this JST flag right here. I have to see what's going on here real quick and go back in. Nope. Looks like somebody accidentally swarmed that flag with Xeno in it. It goes all the way back home. So we'll go ahead and see. Since JST is not here, maybe they're up top burning a flag. They are getting ready to burn this flag up top. Good stuff from JST here, where they are on top of which flag needs to be burned at what time. They push that flag, burn it, and they stay ahead of 2244 in the flag game as of right now on this right side. They're keeping this pressure up enough that they can keep burning the right flags at the right time to keep the pressure up and hopefully push 2244 out of Kingsland within the next couple of hours. Hopefully very close to their pass. Should see another Henry rally coming in here real soon from JST to burn this flag. Like to see an XY Nev though here pretty soon. I feel like that would get it burned a little quicker, unless you're willing to use like Boudica and Henry, just because of the ramp up of XY so quick, and I think the damage would be a little bit higher much faster. JST is engaging 2244 here, and most likely their flag in the middle though will be burned from JST because they are pushing the correct flag at this time to get this flag burned. Definitely a lot of marches from JST, and 365 is definitely holding their own against three different kingdoms here. All Imperium, seeing a Henry and Nebu on this flag. JST members ready to swarm once this flag gets below halfway. I think this Henry though is getting swarmed a little bit by somebody from 2244, trying to save this flag from the right side, pouring in, trying to save this flag. I think the flag is getting swarmed. The rally is being swarmed from it. That Henry is dancing. He's going to be swarmed pretty hard. Don't know if they can keep it alive for very long. Have to see if they can keep it alive, because they need to keep the rally alive if they're going to plan to swarm this flag. It is going red very, very soon though. I don't know if they can keep it alive. But JST is kind of stacked up in this spot where the flag is, and they are swarming the snot out of this flag. It is on very, very low standards right now. It is being swarmed heavily from a lot of marches. I imagine this flag will pop very, very soon. It's very low, and there it goes. Burn the flag. Not seeing a lot of reinforcement stuff from that flag. There is an Alex in there. They need to swarm it again, hopefully, and burn it completely and kill all the troops that they don't want in there, because they're basically getting free kills now. I think maybe the garrison popped and there's still people pouring troops in. It looks like there's still a very decent amount of marches because they're able to swarm for a decent amount of time on this flag. So Alex captain is not the captain you want. Unfortunately, this JST player with the XY should not be swarming. This is a bad trade for them, most likely, even though they probably are max tech. So 2 or 3 marches from 2244 player that were left inside. Probably was field fighting and misplaced them. 2244 trying to push on this top right, but they're being pushed away. JST train is moving down to burn this flag. Next flag in line, doing a very good job on this right side of the map with JST, burning these flags as quickly as possible at the most efficient way possible, keeping this on their terms on this top right side of the map. We'll go ahead and look at the other side of the map here pretty soon, but I imagine to see a rally coming within the next 2 or 3 minutes from JST, maybe sooner. We'll have to see. They own this field though on this side of the map. Finally, a city just came in from the lag that's happening here on that left side. There was nothing there. Henry, Boudica, and probably Henry Rally coming in. I think that would be a better option simply because it's more damage to the current target, and you don't really need the AoE. You have all these marches here. You should be able to AoE it anyways. It's going to be a better rally on this garrison anyways. There's no healing or anything going on. I imagine a swarm is going to be coming very soon. This rally needs topped off though. It is getting a little bit low. Hopefully you're going to see some rally reinforcements here. Should be a swarm on this flag real soon, but it's being stuffed by this player here with infantry, so we'll see if they swarm this flag. They need to do it soon-ish so that they can try to kill this captain. Seeing a Trajan fight a Boudica on the left side's a little weird. Must be trying to get all their marches out at the same time, but not buffing anything with that. Comes a swarm from JST, I think, on this flag. Nebu, Nevsky, and Joan, and some Guans and Scipios starting to swarm this flag. Maybe some XYs swarming this flag as hard as possible, trying to burn it. I still think this garrison is not the best because it can pop much easier than a Xeno will. Huge swarm on this flag here from JST. Flag getting very, very low. Rally is looking pretty healthy. May need some reinforcements in the rally a little bit. They may forget about it to reinforce the rally a little bit. A couple marches need to pull away from JST, I think, to try to get some new ones in. But they are getting this flag very, very low, and it should be burned hopefully real soon if they keep this rally full. It is getting a little bit low, I feel like this rally is, but they're doing a very good job of swarming this flag extremely heavily and not letting up on this flag. If they can get this burned, there goes some marches from the flag. It's getting low. Gonna have to see if they can keep this swarm up, but there's a few marches that do need to go from JST. I think they are swapping them now. Captain popped like I was talking about. Can't keep a flag alive if you don't have the captain. And all the marches go out, and they keep swarming the remains. Needed to be a Xeno captain. It won't pop so easily. That is a little bit of a mistake using Flavius and Scipio at this point in the game. You can't hold a flag if there's a chance that they can swarm it. It's a little bit weak to that. It is going to be strong, but it's going to pop the captain and the rest is going to die. You have to be able to either swap a new captain very quickly or have a Xeno in there because she won't pop just as easily as that march would. 2244 trying to push back here on the right side of the map. Still being pushed pretty heavily from JST though, so not seeing that they're going to get this field back anytime soon. Still seeing that JST is controlling this side of the map. 2244 is trying to push back a little bit here. We're going to go ahead and check to see what's going on down here with JST. They need to move all the marches from the top down to here probably pretty soon to burn this flag again. I think it's going to be healed very, very soon. So we'll have to see if they can burn this flag again. Because 2244 is on this side of the map mostly with their marches because they know they can keep this flag from JST burning. Surprised there's no marches in the flag itself, but I think JST does not need to lose marches on a flag. They don't need to defend if they are doing a very good job of burning 2244 out. JG is being pushed here from 2244 a little bit. Flag is still healing. 2244 flag is not burning on this bottom. Well, it may not be. I assume it's touching a little bit because it's burning on the other side, so this looks a little bit weird there. Have to see if 875 is pushing with 2338 in this area, burning JG flags. JG is on fire right now, but JG, like I was showing you earlier, is pushing here on this middle part of the map, trying to stalemate this part of the map against 875 like they are on the left side of the map. They are trying to stalemate and keep this in their control. So we're going to go ahead and check the left side of the map, since we were seeing 875 and BLN pushing here. Who is burning on this side of the map? We'll have to see. Not seeing a burning 875 flag, unfortunately, for BLN here. Looks like BLN is being pushed by 75 here. That is an issue for them. Their flags are healing though, so they are at least at the minimum stalemating this for right now. But BLN is being pushed. They're a little bit late to the party on this left side of the map, where these marches are not engaged. They need to get into the fight and hopefully push back 75, or they're going to get their flag burned again on this side of the map with the amount of marches they are still trying to reinforce from this far back. They're taking a little bit too long, I feel like. A lot of 75 here pushing BLN. A lot of 75 pushing more and more. 75 pouring in from the bottom, trying to push BLN here. Still kind of a stalemate though, in the fact that the flags are not burning from BLN, so they are trying to stalemate and keep their flags topped up and healed, at least at this point in the game. I think 75 is having a bit of an issue rallying these flags though, because the field from BLN is still so heavy that they can't really rally these flags right now. Seeing that BLN is at least holding their own right here is a good thing for them. And 1365 right now. We'll have to see where 2338 is right now, because I think they're still kind of standing around a little bit. Probably in the middle of the map, burning flags and trying to increase their territory, but I think they could help with field a little bit more in other places, because they could definitely probably push where JG is pushing, where I showed you a little bit earlier. They probably should push there rather than helping 875 right now, so they can kind of relieve the pressure right there in the middle for themselves. I think that it was either 2244 or 875 there. They should be pushing that field back rather than trying to just stand around and burn flags right now. Because there's a lot of just standing on the territory of BLN or OG and burning the flag. BLN is trying to stack back up and push 75 back. A lot of refresh from 75 here. BLN is being pushed still a little bit into their own territory. Still kind of a stalemate here, so we're going to check the middle of the map, see where the map's kind of going. It's still the same as it was about 20-30 minutes ago. This is the map still. They're all basically in the same area. 2338 and 875 have basically encircled the map in the zig a little bit. OG and I think JG may be touching a little bit here, but they are trying to push back here right in the middle here at the top of the zig. So we're going to see if we see where 2338 is. Still kind of standing around here from 2338. They are possibly a flag in this area though that they're still burning, but there's a lot of standing around from 2338, I feel, where they could be pushing field and pushing away OG and JG in a couple different areas. They're standing and burning. I think they could push right and try to push this ball from OG that's over here away, but it looks like 75 is pushing back, so maybe it's okay where they're at right now. But there was a push from JG earlier that was a little bit of an issue for 1875. So this murder ball from 2338, it's kind of just roaming around and smashing everything in its path. Not a lot of resistance from this side of the map from OG or JG. Unfortunately for 1365, they are a little overwhelmed. Their flags are burning on this side of the map. They are trying to stalemate this side though, so that they can push 2244 as quickly as they can. Every time the flag is healing, they are burning their flags. So hope everybody here is enjoying the stream. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Really appreciate anybody that's been here and watching my stream. I know a lot of the creators are streaming this as well, as it is a very large KVK. We will see how much longer we can stream this. I think I can stream till about another hour, but I have a arc at 20 UTC, and let's see if I can just play and stream at the same time. I don't know if I'm going to try that yet. I'll have to see. But as we see here, we have 2338 going to push what I imagine is OG. This train has been basically walking around the map, like I was saying, and just smashing. It's basically one whole Imperium Kingdom just walking around, so pushing up this way towards JG where they're fighting 875. Helping 875 as much as they can. So I imagine that our 2238 is just going to push straight up into the middle of this map and push and cut the reinforcements for JG. This is a very large train from 2238. 22 or 23 or 2238, don't remember exactly the number. 2338. Very large amount of marches from them pushing up towards the middle of this map. So what they need, OG is gonna push them. I think that's a little bit of a mistake on their part to just engage right away. They need to push 75 and pull back, I think. They don't have enough here to push 2338. They need to just keep their flags reinforced and stuff right now, because this 2338 rally and probably field here is getting very thick. Any of the OG or JG that's engaging here is going to get swallowed up. I don't think it's the right move to engage such a large force with what they have. It's not enough. They're going to get smashed real quick, especially if they don't stack up real quick. More and more 2338 moving in here to engage this JG front. 875 is on the right side here, probably letting 2338 do the legwork for them because they are pushing and getting ready to rally these flags while 2338 handles it. I'm not sure if that was a new flag being built. It could have been a new flag being built right there. Not sure I didn't catch it in time. 2338 is trying to push though the field for 75 here. I would imagine in the next 3 to 5 minutes, JST is going to be pushing again to burn 2244 flags at the top right because they need to keep those burning. So we'll have to see if 875 and 2338 can burn the JG flags here, but I imagine they should be able to keep them burning pretty easily in this part of the map because they have a very large murder ball from 2338 pushing heavily here. '75 has probably launched a rally to burn any flag they can touch if they are not burning the ones they have, but I think this flag is protected for now and it's back flagged a little bit. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we see JST pushing at this top side here. JST is all over the map, rallying this 2244 flag. They did push down to where they were losing a little bit because JST's flag, I think on the left, was burning. So what they need to do, because there is a rally from 2244 Attila Nev going toward the JST flag. They need to swarm this flag very soon to get it burning again. Here comes the swarm from JST. Like I was saying, they should need to swarm this. Not the healthiest marches swarming though. They need to get rid of some of these marches swarming. Scipio and probably the XY need to go because they're a little bit low. Definitely this Attila and I think that was Tommy. That was a little bit of a weird march. But they burned the flag. No reinforcements from 2244 on this side of the map. from this player here did not have enough marches to stuff the flag. Burning again for 2244. Full screen of marches. Field fighting here from 1365 and 2244. Definitely pushing field here with 2244. More and more marches pouring in from the JST side, from the left and top left, to try to push away any of these marches on the screen here from 2244, because what they're going to do, smash these marches and push up, because they need to go back probably to the middle part of this map on the top right and burn the next flag, because they may be a little bit behind burning some of these flags like this one here. They're engaging it so that they can move more and more up again and burn all the flags once more. Most likely 2244 has burned the top JST flag again though, but JST has burned their flag more often than they have, because they basically ditched their own flags and been on the aggression and burning 2244 much more quickly than they can burn them, so that they can get a new flag built once that flag is down. JST is slowly moving this murder ball more and more towards this flag that they have definitely probably set a rally on to try to burn this flag. More and more marches from JST pouring in here from the left side of the map, trying to push away 2244, because they need to burn this middle flag that's at the bottom of the screen. That flag should be burned within the next 3 to 5 minutes when a rally is coming. Definitely going to be a Henry and probably Nebu or Boudica Henry coming in for JST within the next couple of minutes. A little bit of lag here since there's so much on the screen here. Coming from the skill damage numbers, we're definitely having a little bit of lag from these marches because they are going all over the place a little bit. So we're going to go ahead, refresh the game. I think I'm getting a little bit of lag from the game. Refresh the game. Been streaming for 2 hours now and was on the screen for probably at least an hour, so it needs a little bit of a refresh on the game. Let things happen a little bit. Go ahead and send gathers out real quick. Always be gathering if you can be. Let me go ahead and scroll back out and go back to the KVK where we were at. We were in right around this area for JST. Hopefully that helped with the lag a little bit and get some more of the skill damage numbers back to where they were. But there's a lot on the field here. It's going to take a little bit to keep this under control from JST. JST is pushing this flag from 2244, is burning, so is the JST flag. Hopefully they can heal that flag up and make sure it's good to go. Rally on this flag is happening. Having to see if we can see what it is. 2244 is trying to swarm the rally though. Boudica and probably Henry from BLN here. 2244 is swarming the rally though, so they're going to have to try to destroy those marches because they are swarming this rally. They're melting that Ethelflad and XY that are swarming this rally. Should keep this rally alive so that they can swarm the Xeno and Flab down. But the rally is getting a little bit low. Hopefully they can keep the reinforcements up because they're trying to keep 2244 occupied at the top right here. Reinforcements bottom though from Khalid, trying to get into this flag. JST is now swarming this flag if they weren't already, trying to get the captain killed and burn this flag. Xeno is much harder to kill in a flag though because she heals. She can stalemate this a little bit longer, but there's next to no reinforcements from 2244, and marches are streamlining out, and this flag should burn. I believe it burned because we have a little bit of lag here. That flag burned, refresh this a little bit, and it did burn. So they got that burned. And a little bit of lag here from the amount of marches on the screen. 2244 marches coming in from the top. I'm going to see if they need to push at the top here from JST or if they have this kind of under control. JST needs to burn this flag one more time, at least one more time. And they need to push very soon to get this all underway. This flag should be healed soon from 2244. And we'll see if we see any more flags that JST needs to burn. This flag is burning from JST already. They should be either going straight up or going left and around. Looks like they are refreshing and going top to burn this flag. All the marches are streamlining this part of the map to push 2244 away, burn this flag so they can get their flag dropped, and keep pushing right. Any of these marches from 2244 need to stack up now before JST gets here because there's a very large amount of marches coming to smash them. Streamlines, big train coming from JST to smash them, so very large murder ball coming. They just ditch this side of the map, let their flag burn, and they're going to go top. Some of the 2244 are refreshing and realizing they need to go top. Might be a little bit too late, too little, because this is coming very soon. Very large train from JST coming. So this 2244 is trying to, I would imagine they need to back up because they're going to get outnumbered real quick if they don't back up. Any of them that are still in territory of JST need to run away or be smashed at this point because this murder ball is coming very soon to engage. 2244 is trying to reinforce their side of the map, but I think they may be a bit too far too late as they still have marches coming from bottom trying to go top. JST is now engaged and starting to push back, and the train is coming to smash what's left of the men of the 2244 on their territory. Because a lot of them stayed on the JST territory and are getting smashed now. A lot of the 2244 letting the marches on the map be smashed, trying to group back up on their territory a little bit. But they need to either commit or group up because they are going to get smashed if they don't. More and more pouring in from JST to push this flag. Get it burned one more time. Probably would maybe need one more burn after this, but it is, if they get it burned soon, they may be able to burn it all the way. It is very much on its last legs here as JST is pushing. Pushing. Still more pouring in from JST. Too little, too late. Many of the 2244 running away, leaving the marches that are engaged currently. As this murder ball from JST pushes right, more and more to the right, with every second passing. Many marches from 2244 trying to reinforce this murder ball from the right, but too many have ran away, in my opinion, from 2244 to last much longer against JST as more marches pour in. Many sad faces coming from 2244, meanwhile one or two from JST are coming back. Call Herald from 2244. Hate to see it. A little bit of lag here with the amount of marches on screen, but we'll go ahead and see if we can see which side of this is going really well. JST still pouring more and more marches in from this left side of the map to push 2244 away. Rally should be, is that? We're going to have to go simplified real quick because I think there's a Nebu in that flag. Nope, that was just a Nebu on the screen. I thought there was a rally hitting the flag, or... Oh, there is a rally hitting this flag. We'll see what the garrison is on this flag. It should be a rally hitting. See if we can't see. Should be Xeno and YSS on this flag here for JST and BLN, or 2244. Xeno and YSS. Reinforcements from JST going into this BLN rally, still pushing 2244 away as they get ready to swarm this flag. This Xeno flag is getting low. Rally is looking very good. They're using Henry and Boudica this time, which I think is a much better rally to just punish the target. And I think this is what they're trying to realize. This rally is much more suitable, I think, for their needs. It is much tankier than a Henry and Nebu, or a basically any other rally with Henry other than maybe Gilga. This rally is much tankier. This flag is being swarmed heavily now by JST. Couple reinforcements from 2244, but the captain is going to be popping very soon. Looks like the flag has burned, and we are just lagged out a little bit on the flag. Flag is now burning again. Ethelfled and their siege in this flag, which is not the best thing to be seeing right now from 2244. Should not be dumping siege into this flag that they need to hold for the other kingdoms in this KVK. Alex primary in this flag, we hate to see it. More marches dying from 2244. I think the Alex finally got out, but it could be a different Alex that's still in the flag. Still being hit with AoE as it runs away, unfortunately for that player. 2 or 3 marches, at least, from 2244 getting smashed for free from JST. Still more marches in this flag from 2244. Running away now. They should be moving down towards this bottom flag that needs to be burned. It's probably down here healing. Henry and Nebu on this flag down here, trying to burn this flag once again. Looks like the rally from Henry Nebu is being swarmed though. They need to swarm this flag, swarm the Trajan, and probably Ethelfled swarming this rally, along with the Nevsky and Nebu hitting this rally, or keep it topped off. They have to keep this rally alive, and so they can start swarming this flag. They have to keep the rally alive. Looks like they swarm down the people swarming the flag, swarming the rally, trying to reinforce this flag. Now they are swarming the flag, trying to keep that rally topped off. They need it reinforced though. This rally is a little bit low. It is getting topped back off though, and we should be back to where we were. Many JST players swarming this flag now. Heavy reinforced from 2244 though, keeping this rally, or keeping this flag topped off at least enough to hold for a little bit longer. Many JST marches ready to swarm though. Flag is getting very, very low. Captain has not popped, but the flag is about to. Flag pops all together. Double C captain left over. Leftover JST swarming the double C out. Flag burned. Hopefully the last burn that they have to do on this flag. We'll have to see if that is the last burn. It might be healed last like 50 health. Kind of annoying, I know, but it could get healed at that point. 2244 could heal that flag maybe one more time. Depends on the timer. A lot of JST still fighting here with 2244. They need to pull back a little bit though. At this point, they don't need to fight in this spot specifically because they have the flags burning from 2244. Now a lot of the JST going back to refresh, do it all over again, and burn whatever flags are healing. Possible that this one down here will need burned within the next 2 to 5 minutes. 2244 is on their territory down here. I imagine JST will refresh and swarm down the marches that are on their territory and push back this way so they can get ready to set up to burn this flag in the next 3 to 5 minutes when it is healed. Get another look at the map overall. Same kind of scenario right now. Still trying to get some flags burned out from any of the other kingdoms right now from JST and BLN. They're still trying to burn flags. Closest ones they have burned is 2244 at the top right. But 2338 is holding their own in the middle here, along with 875. They are holding the Zig area pretty heavily, especially since 2338 is free burning pretty much all of JST, BLN territory, OG territory right now, because they have so many more marshes in the middle right now. 875 is probably stalemated with BLN on this side though. It does look like it's still the stalemate we were seeing kind of earlier, where BLN and 875 are engaged. Could be a rally on this flag. Let's go simplify it and double check there is not a rally on this flag. Hard to see otherwise. There is no rally on this flag from what I can tell. Just a lot of field fighting. I thought I seen a Xeno heal, that's why I wasn't sure. So BLN and 75 engaging here, trying to push with BLN. 1365 is doing a very good job of stalemating the areas that they need to and burning where they need to at the right time. Still seeing 875 and BLN engaged here. I will be right back. I will leave the stream right here and get something to drink and take another rest real quick. Be right back. Alrighty, got my drink refreshed and we'll be back real soon here. Looks like 75 has pushed BLN away while we took a break real quick. So BLN is still stalemated though, I think, on this side of the map. I'll go ahead and check to see where 2338 is. Looks like they're streamlined here in the middle, burning OG flags here on the side and engaging with JG right now. And this part of the map is heavily contested with JG and 2338, as 2338 has the field here. From what I'm seeing, Joji and JG are having a heavily hard time trying to hold field where 2338 is. Hard time to hold any kind of field. All their flags are most likely burning. They need to just delay as much as possible, heal the flags and delay. They're doing a better job than 2244 is right at this point, but they are outnumbered heavily. 75 marshes, streamlining all over this territory in this area as well. JG is trying to stack up here at the top middle by their flag and try to just hold the territory if they can. but they need to back up, I think, a little bit further on their territory to try to just hold their territory as much as possible as their flags are being burned by the two Imperium kingdoms that are engaging with them. JST should be engaged in this area, I would believe, to burn any of these flags that have not been burned yet. Looks like JST is all over this territory with 2244 engaging. Looks like there is a Henry. Looks like there is a, I believe this is a Henry rally somewhere hitting something. I can't see what it's hitting. I assume it's hitting this flag that's in this area. That's probably just hidden by all the marches. So this Xeno flag that you can barely see here is being heavily swarmed right now, and it's also being rallied by this Henry and Nebu. We'll have to see if they can burn this flag, because that Henry and Nebu is getting extremely low. The rally is probably being swarmed as well, so we'll have to see if they can keep this up and burn this flag. If they get this flag burned one more time, it is probably GG for this flag. We'll have to see what the health is on this flag, but it probably would need one more burn actually for this one. This is probably the one that they didn't burn at the start, and they had let it kind of, I would say, stay alive for a little bit longer. Top flags should be burning right now though for 2244. Still, this rally is going on this flag. 2244 desperately trying to hold it with the Xeno and Flav in this garrison. Nebu Henry is being swarmed heavily as it is dancing. Needs to be full as much as possible. Some of these JST marches need to back off. They're dead. March is still swarming. Flag getting very low. Rally getting very low. Still have many marches. Nevsky's and Jones swarming this flag. Garrison swap to Flavius and Scipio. Most likely not the best garrison to be swarmed at this moment. Rally being swarmed by Tommy. Looks like it stopped. Still getting very low though for this rally. It needs to be heavily swarmed, this flag. Captain should be dying very soon if this flag... Okay, it got swapped to another Xeno. That's good for them. They're keeping this flag at least minimum 1 million, probably still in this flag. As you see, about 4 to 5k normal on the marches swarming this flag. This flag is going to stay alive unless they can get a better swarm going on it. JST still swarming, getting some fresh marches swarming. Hopefully they can get some more high skill damage marches swarming. Seeing double C swarming this flag is not the best thing to be seeing. Unfortunately, and a Constantine I think is also swarming. That's not the best marches to be using right now. Harold swarming is okay, but you need to see a lot more XYs and Nevskys or they're not going to be able to burn this flag. Henry rally is getting extremely low at this point in time. Flag is getting still topped off. We're still seeing 4,000 normal attack damage on this garrison from the troops swarming this flag. It is still staying at that 1 mil roughly garrison, so it is still staying fairly well topped off. This rally report would be pretty heavily probably in favor of 2244 because they're keeping it topped off. Attila Takeda swarming, or part of the marches from the flag being kicked out. They got too low. Flag still being topped off though. It's still doing 6,000 normal attack damage. Still doing a very good job of keeping this flag topped off and not being burned. JST needs to swarm this flag even harder or get a much higher DPS rally on this flag. Henry Nebu is not as easily swarmed, but it doesn't do as much DPS I think as a Boudica and Henry or even the XY Nev would do. It's doing AoE though, so it does help them get a little bit better AoE on some people as they walk around and reinforce this flag though. Still some people swarming this flag, but we're seeing some Constantines and some not DPS marches swarming this flag, which is kind of not good to see. So hopefully we can get some more Boudicas and XY swarming this flag, and maybe we can get this flag burned. Flag is still doing, let's see, 2,000 normal. It is getting low. Flag is getting a little bit too low. It's getting topped back off though. It's at 5k normal, so it's back up to that 1 to 2 mil range, down to 3,000 normal. We'll have to see. Switch to Flav Scipio. This is not a good thing for them. Henry Nebu is being swarmed with Tommy though. They need to kill the Tommy swarming this Henry Nebu, or it's going to be a problem for this rally, as it takes more and more skill damage from the garrison. They need to swarm and swarm. This flag is getting very low. It is doing 1,000 normal attack, less than 1,000 normal on this flag. I think this flag is going to get burned if they don't top it off very, very soon. Many marches streaming out of this flag is getting very, very low. 500 normal attack from this flag. They need to swap this captain out or it will die. Captain looks like it popped, like I was saying. Cleo is captain. Flag is burning. GG, they did the flag burn. Nebu is in the flag now. They will be able to swarm it down if they feel like it. JST doing their job well. Burning the flag that they need to get burned. Refreshing, going probably mid or top to get the next flag burned. That is still touching the territory. Looks like JST burned the flag here. They need to drop a flag up top. I would imagine JST moves top, drops. They don't have to drop a flag, but because they need to start burning these other flags, though they may drop a flag eventually just to get closer to. They need to just basically burn all the flags. If they're bold enough, they would drop a flag and try to take pressure off this one that could be burned again. Try to take a little bit of pressure off that and burn 3 flags at once. Might be a little bit hard, but it's something that they could try and do. We'll see where all the JST marches are here, though. They probably went to refresh. Many of them going to refresh as far as I could tell. As that huge train goes home to refresh. Still engaging with 2244 here. JST moving south to burn this flag once more. Need about 2 more burns on this flag to get it down. Hopefully it's not as heavily as a fight as it was before for JST, because they do need to accelerate their progress and not delay it. They need to try to use Boudica and Henry, I think, to burn flags. Henry Nebu is tanky, but I think they need to try to use a little bit more DPS march to do more direct damage to them, to the garrison, because it's taking a little bit more time to burn these flags than it was 20-30 minutes ago. Poor March swarming that Flav Scipio, though, got probably pretty punished there. JST Attila. So we'll have to see if the JST can burn this flag. They're positioning to rally this flag with archers again as they push field here against 2244 on this side of the map. Should see another rally coming. I imagine maybe this is just reinforcements to the flags from 2244. Boudica and Henry hitting this flag like I was hoping would come. This will do much more direct damage to this flag. Swarm will be coming very soon once this flag gets a little bit low. The Call and Herald swarming the rally is a bit weird to do. Not really going to help you at all, but maybe it gets some people into the AoE of the flag. But I think BLN is the one rallying, so it does not really matter. 2244 is trying to swarm this Boudica and Henry. His needs to be reinforced, this Boudica and Henry. It is not as tanky as the other one, but this Flav Scipio is the wrong garrison to be using. It is going to pop very quickly. There's no other garrison captain. This flag is going down very soon. Goodbye, GG. You did not use the right captain at this time, and it is going to pop. Bye-bye. Need to be using Zeno. You can't use Flavius at this point when BLN and JST will swarm this flag. You can't be using that. That is the wrong garrison to be using at this time. JST burning that flag and moving to the next one like clockwork. They are burning flags, taking down 2244 flags very efficiently. They need to rally again with Boudica and Henry. The rally does so much more damage to that target. It's just a better rally. If they can swarm, they need to be using that rally. If they can't be swarmed, they definitely need to be using that rally. Henry Nebu is good when you are going to expect to be swarmed, but if you can keep it topped off, you need to use something else. Next rally should be coming in the next 3 to 5 minutes for this flag, and we should see this flag burned once more. They need about 1 more burn on that flag, and they need another, probably 2 burns on this flag. And we'll see. While we wait for that, we're going to go ahead and double check that JST is not up here somewhere swarming something. Looks like they're just field fighting for right now, right in the spot. Let's double check they aren't up top pushing. Looks like they are pushing top a little bit, trying to they need to get these flags burning at least once. They do need to push them. They need to push these flags and get them burned, because if they can cut around to this pass, they can cut these flags all together. They really need to focus and burn these top flags. They may back flag, but if they can cut these flags from this mountain, it should, hopefully, if they don't somehow flag in a different way, they may be able to cut some flags off and relieve some of the pressure from themselves up top. But there are a lot of flags they have to burn up top, so it will take time, unfortunately, for them to get there. I think they need to drop a flag here in the middle, build it, and then push, because they need to relieve the pressure off this flag, because it's basically at the end of its time. If they burn that flag too many more times, they're going to have a little bit of an issue, because they can't afford for that flag to go down. Pushing field here with JST. Up top, they are trying to push field. They need to try and burn some flags. We're going to go back down bottom, because they should be swarming this flag down south. Once we get it loaded in, we'll have to see where they're at. They should be swarming a flag right here. Boudica, Henry, Riley, love to see it. Love to see it. Better garrison this time though, but there's a heavy swarm on this flag. Should be easy burn for JST again. Love to see the Boudica Henry. Much better. Much quicker burn if you use that rally. XY's, Boudica's, Scipio's swarming this flag this time instead of some a little bit questionable Constantines and Double C's earlier. Poor choice swapping to Flav Scipio at this point. Flag is already low, barely doing 2,000 normal attack to the current swarmers. This flag is going to pop if they don't swap garrisons again. Flag is doing 2,000 normal, 1,400 normal is going down. Flavius is going to pop anytime now, and we're going to see this flag go. Mistakes were made using Flavius primary, in my opinion. Flag has been burned again. We will see JST refresh, push top, possibly need to burn a flag in this area. Possibly we'll need to burn this flag again real soon, because it's probably going to be healed like the last 200 health, because it was a little bit shakily or not burned at the right, I would say, momentum to keep it burning in the pace that like is going to get it done with one more burn. I think they probably will have to burn that flag again, and they need to make sure their flags stay healthy, because they're getting a little bit low. More 2244 trying to pour in, but I imagine JST will push top, trying to burn the flags up top, because they need to swarm this flag up top. We'll see if there's a rally here somewhere, or if it's just swarm. I imagine there's a rally hitting this flag, but it's hard to tell. I think it was just an accidental swarm on that flag. Somebody got punished a little bit for swarming that 2244 flag with the Xeno garrison. We'll go ahead and see if they push these flags. They really need to burn these flags. They need to refresh bottom and go top. Maybe burn that one that was talking about that may need burned again, but they need to push these flags. JST is all over this territory though. They should be able to burn these flags if they push top with the rest of the bottom people that they have down bottom. While we wait to see if they burn any more of these flags, we're going to go ahead and check to see whether or not 875 has made any progress on this far left side of the map where BLN is. Seeing a lot of the same story as I was saying earlier. Stalemate from BLN side. No flags burning for BLN. BLN flags much over half health again. This one is almost fully healed. No change in the scenario on this side. Unfortunately for 875, they need to push this side, or they need to be pushing mid very hard. I think they should be pushing left harder than mid, just because they have more of a territory benefit if they push the left side, because they can cut off some of the territory if they can get in the right position. Tilla Nev rally on this possible flag is a poor choice in my opinion, unless it's going for something different. They should be using archers, because this is what JST is doing, is using archers. Would not surprise me if BLN swarms the snot out of this Attila just to try to take it down. They really should swarm this Attila down. There is a swarm on this Attila because there's few reinforcements for this Attila Nev. I would imagine to see this rally canceled and the rally go down. Not enough reinforcements, too much field fighting from 875. Poor choice, poor timing on that rally. It's got many stacks of Tommy. Too late, too little. 15 stacks, you're going down. This rally's gonna get popped. See you later, nice try. Gonna be painful for anybody swarming this rally, but it was going down very quickly. Hopefully if they can keep this flag topped off, it should pop though, because it's too little too late from the reinforcements. You've seen it get topped off real quick there, but it's getting too low, too little. They need to cancel. They don't cancel this, it's gonna go wee because it's so low. This Attila is getting a hugely bad trade now. It's so low. It's getting reinforced and topped back off, but it is being swarmed heavily. It needs to be canceled. It's not going to go well for it if they can keep this flag topped off. Hopefully with the Xeno garrison. It's a little bit difficult to see. Let's see what garrison this is. Hopefully it is a Xeno. It is still white. This Attila Neb is not doing very well against this garrison itself. It is getting punished heavily. People swarming the rally probably punished themselves a little bit. Hopefully not taking any dead, but they got this flag safe for now. Attila Nev still hitting this flag, maybe being topped off, but flag is being swarmed, but I don't know that it's going to be enough since this flag is well above half health. Rally being punished now. Rally should be canceled. Rally is going to die. Otherwise, it is taking a huge amount of normal attack damage if they don't reinforce the rally. Anybody swarming this flag is going to get heavily punished since the flag is still close to half health, a little bit under, but this rally is getting very low. Swarm canceled, rally goes wee all the way home. Good defense from OG here. They did a very good job defending that flag. Glad to see that they were able to at least hold the flag, keep them stalemated here, and keep JST on the top right, rolling. 2338 though is an issue where they are building flags. It looks like OG may be back building, trying to hold this area because 2338 is an issue for them. They can't really handle the third Imperium in this KVK at this moment. OG and JG are trying, but I don't think they have the marches. They haven't really had the marches the whole KVK to engage this amount of field from 2338 because they're holding the top right and burning, and they're also stalemating the left side while trying to stalemate the middle, but having a little bit of an issue because of the amount of marches from 2338. Go ahead and double check that JST has not burned any of the flags top right. I would imagine to see a lot of these flags getting on their last legs. Last legs for this flag, it might need burned one more time. Hard to say though. This flag is gone. Anybody that's in this area that's not 100 million, you best be TPing out, or you're going to get swarmed because most of these flags do cover you though, so you're lucky enough. But you need to be moving away, otherwise you'll be in trouble. If the JST flag is in that area though, you'll get ported automatically. A lot of field fighting from JST and 2244 in the middle here. Have to see if JST can push on here, but I think they will succeed. I'm gonna have to be checking to see. I have an arc here in about 15 to 20 minutes, so I'm gonna have to see what's happening here. If we can stream and do the arc match at the same time, I'm not sure yet. I may cancel the stream or end the stream here in about 15 minutes just to see, but and then restart it in like an hour, just because I need to hopefully don't crash the stream or something trying to do too much on my laptop here, as they have been running for the last 3 hours. So we may take a break here in about 15 minutes and come back in about an hour, just because I don't want to cause any issues. 2244 flag being burned at the very top, and having more and more JST swarm the flag because it's just a Scipio and probably Guan Yu in this flag, maybe an Alex, something like that. More and more free kills for JST as they swarm this flag down. 3 or 4 people in that flag again getting swarmed. Flag is burning. If they can cut around the top here and avoid the flags down middle and just cut them off in the mountain, they can definitely start to lock in 2244, because then all they have to do is cut from the pass if they can't keep these flags full from 2244. So we're going to go ahead and swap accounts real quick and see whether or not I need to cut the stream for a little bit and then come back or not. I'm going to see what kind of I'm still not in the alliance I'm supposed to be in, even though it's like 10 minutes till the arc is. A bit annoying. Let's see if we can't. Oh, we are in the. It's just not loaded. I have to see whether or not we have to. We have 20 minutes and we can still stream. We have 4v4. Should be a pretty easy arc, so I may see if I can just stream and do it at the same time. We'll have to go ahead and check and see if I can do that. So let's go ahead and swap back to the. Let's go ahead and go back to the 1365 KVK and just stay on this account for right now. We have about 20 minutes, and we'll have to probably take a quick break, maybe from the stream, because I don't want to cause issues with the stream I'm doing now, and just come back after that arc is over. Most likely, but we'll have to see. I haven't decided that yet. So let's go ahead and go see what JST is doing up top here. They should be probably moving south to burn some of these other flags if they feel like it. I think they can get away with just burning these top ones and going around the back, hopefully cutting them from the pass and from the mountain if they can swing it. I would imagine in the next couple hours they should be able to do that. Boudica and Henry again. Very good choice here on this rally on this flag. Hopefully getting this flag burned in the next couple of minutes is going to be JST swarming it again. Hopefully they swap to a Flavius and it would be a much easier time. Henry and Boudica being swarmed here a little bit. Need to keep this rally topped off. It is going to get hurt a little bit by swarm because it's not as tanky as or counterattacky as Nebu is with Henry. So they're going to have to keep it topped off and hopefully push field. They need to streamline some more marches to keep this rally topped off and keep the rally going. Doing a decent job of keeping it full, but it is being heavily swarmed as the flag is being swarmed and the rally is being swarmed. 2244 trying desperately to keep this flag full. More and more marches from JST streamlining in, trying to swarm down any marches swarming the rally, pushing right, keeping them honest, and trying to get this flag burned. Xeno and YSS, I think, is what's in this flag. Could be Flavius. It's hard to see. Let's see what it is. Xeno YSS is not going to be able to hold as well as Flavius is. Probably going to be starting to see some siege in this rally, or in this garrison, so it's going to be much easier to be topped off or basically taken out. I imagine there's going to be a Flavius swap here because this flag is getting very low. Garrison may be getting low. Unlikely though that Xeno will pop as easily as a Flavius will, so it is a little bit of an issue if you do swap to a Flavius here. Have to see. Flag is doing 4k normal. It is doing okay. It's around 1 million troops. Doing decent still at 3k. Back up to 6 or 7k. This flag is doing decent. Need to get rid of the Attila swarming this flag. It is not doing anything. There is a Tommy with it, so it is a unique march to use for this, but better to use an archer march with that, like a Boudica and Tommy, because you get some extra debuffs and buffs from that. Attila with Tommy is a little bit of a awkward march, but it does need to leave because I don't think the Tommy debuffs enough if you're not doing any damage for this flag. Need to get a fresh XY hitting this flag or you're gonna die. But the flag is getting down to 2,000 normal, 1,000 normal. I think it's gonna pop. There goes the flag. Captain dies. Alex Captain. There it goes. It burns again. Fresh burn on this 2244 flag. First burn from that flag. Should be able to see some other flags burn. JST going to refresh and move on to the next flag. JST flag is healing. I guess they didn't feel that they needed to drop a flag because they think that they can hold that flag that's already getting healed and they don't need to waste any more resources. They are still field fighting down here a little bit with 2244. We're going to go ahead and probably check to see where 875 is. This flag is burning from 2244. Probably will not need to be rallied again, but it could get healed last second kind of thing. Looks like JG flag burning from 1365 from 2244. So JST marches down here swarming this Xeno flag. Xeno and YSF Xeno flag from 875. They are pushing on 875 a little bit with JG and JST down here at the bottom. This flag is getting extremely low. I expect it to pop very soon. It's doing 500 normal. Here it's going to pop very, very soon. 2000 normal. It's getting saved a little bit. This flag is getting topped back off, but the captain has to be getting very low, as it was very low when it was getting swarmed. Flag is getting topped off. It's back up to 4,000 normal. This flag is being topped off. They need a new garrison swap though for this flag, or it's going to pop simply because the captain is going to die. 2,000 normal from the flag, 1,000 normal from the flag. Top it off. It is gone. Not enough. I think that it was actually a building flag from 875. I did not notice that. So JST and JG basically canceled that flag for them. So they're trying to keep a stalemate down here at this bottom. That's a very good job from JST burning a building flag from 875, keeping them away and honest. The OG flag healing right now, 2338, massive amount of field here. Not going to be an issue for them to burn any of these JST OG flags right now. JST and OG cannot handle this right now because they are too busy with 2244 and 875. This is a very large murder ball from 2338. Unfortunately for JST and 365, it is another Imperium that they have to figure out a way to deal with as they streamline some OG marches in to try to fight back. 875 getting ready to burn this OG flag again, but it is at half health. It is okay right now. It is not too serious. Will we see any change on this left side of the map with JST or with BLN and 875? I don't think so. It looks like it's still stalemated. So unfortunately for them, with 875, they are not able to push this left side of the map still. BLN doing an absolutely amazing job stalemating this side of the map, while JST is pushing 2244. 2244 is going to need to stall. If they don't stall, 2338 cannot help them, even though they should be helping them with field earlier in this KVK with this Kingsland fight. We have about 15 more minutes before we have an arc match. I will probably cut the stream here in about 10 minutes because I would like to restart the stream again to try to go ahead and do the arc match real quick. Take a little bit of a break. Been streaming for about 3 hours. Take a little bit of a break, get something to eat, some things like that here in about 10 minutes. And then we'll go ahead and restart the stream up probably an hour, hour and a half from now. And go ahead and keep watching this KVK until probably after reset. Still seeing a lot of BLN and 875 engage here. BLN is pushing onto 875 territory, hoping to probably burn a flag. 875 needs to push back. Otherwise, they need to push in a different area. We'll go ahead and see if we see anything else from JST or JG in this area. See what's going on. A lot of 875 territory in this area. Another looks like 2338 flag being sworn by JG or OG here with an XY primary as the captain. Hopefully they don't switch it and they can burn this flag that's being built. But it looks like there's a lot of 2338 streamlining in. They're going to need better command, better troops here, more troops here to be able to burn that flag that's building. I don't think they're going to be able to do it. Unfortunately for them, that's not going to be the case. Seeing a lot of OG try to keep fighting here. Have to see if they can hold this line here with 2338 just walking around, doing whatever they want at this point in time. Unfortunately for JST and them, they just can't hold against 2338 like I was kind of talking about. Gonna have to see if there's anything else that they can do. 75 pushing against JG in this area here. Seeing 75 push here a little bit against JG. JG's flag is healing. Hopefully JG can delay a little bit longer in this area as JST is pushing as hard as they can on the right side of the map here. JG and 75 here is pushing. A little bit of stalemate here. Hopefully that they can heal this flag up a little bit for a while and keep it alive. I'm going to see if 2338 or 75 is being pushed in this area by anybody. Looks like 2244 is right in this area. So there's no fighting in that area since the red is a little bit difficult to tell who's who. Looks like 2244 is holding on their territory. Maybe going to try to burn this flag here in a little bit. Seeing some flags building from JST. Very aggressive build there. They're trying to just go straight across, it looks like to me, going straight for 2244, keeping this flag, trying to go straight across and cut them from the pass and all the territory with it. Flags up top against JST and 2244, and 2244 is still burning. Pretty much all these flags is being burned by JST from 2244. A lot of them going south to fight with JST as their flags are being contested and burned at the bottom. Biggest part of this fight right here is against JST and 2244 as they build a new flag. So I'm going to go ahead and recap what has happened in the stream so far. And then we're going to go ahead and cut the stream for about hour or so, hour and a half. As I go ahead and do my arc match. Take a bit of a break, get something to eat, some stuff like that. We'll be back live in about an hour and a half. This is kind of the map so far, just for the end of the stream. JST is pushing 2244 top right. Kingsland in the middle here by the Zig is controlled by 2338, 875 very heavily. JST with OG and JG are trying to their very best to stall in the middle. And then 875 and JG on the far left are stalling. JG is stalling 875 on the far left as JST pushes as hard and as quickly as they possibly can on top right, pushing 2244 back on their heels. Going to be burning 2244 out of this Kingsland as fast as they possibly can, building a flag, going straight for the pass, cutting territory, trying to drop all of this territory that is compared to 2244 away. So I'm going to go ahead and go back home here in this KVK and get ready for my arc match. I appreciate anyone that joined the stream, as I know other people were streaming this as they were. We will be back live in about an hour and a half once this arc match is over. I get something to eat, some things like that. Thank you guys for watching this video. It's live stream today. We'll be back live very soon. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as we will be doing more and more streams in the next coming weeks. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you very soon.